Have you ever wondered why some women seem to grow colder toward their husbands as they age? It's not about drama, it's about something deeply practical and often overlooked. In today's video, we're diving into a truth that's rarely spoken but widely felt. You'll be surprised how simple the reason is and how it can be fixed. So if you're a husband, a wife, or someone who values lasting love, this is a conversation you can't afford to miss. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see marriage in a whole new light. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, because what you'll learn here could save a relationship, or even your own. Let's uncover the truth together, starting now. Reason 1: the silent distance. As years pass in a marriage, something subtle but deeply painful begins to take root in many women's hearts: emotional neglect. It doesn't start with loud arguments or betrayals. It begins quietly, when a woman realizes that the man she once shared everything with no longer truly sees her. In the early days, she might have overlooked it, excused it as stress, work pressure, or a man just being less emotional. But as time goes on, that emotional distance becomes a heavy silence. She craves connection, warmth, and understanding, not grand gestures, but small things, a look, a touch, a question that shows he's really listening. When those things don't come, the loneliness grows. Women are naturally wired to nurture, to hold the emotional fabric of a family together. But when that emotional labor is never met with equal effort or care, it creates a painful imbalance. She begins to feel like a caretaker, not a partner. A woman doesn't fall out of love overnight, she wears down, piece by piece, from years of feeling invisible. And the hardest part? Often, the husband has no idea. He thinks everything is fine because she hasn't screamed or left. But inside, she's already begun to emotionally detach. This lesson isn't about blame, it's about awareness. If a husband can wake up and realize the silent damage of emotional neglect, he can begin to repair the bond. It starts with attention, listening without fixing, asking without judging, and showing up, not just physically but emotionally. Because for a woman, emotional presence is love. And when that's missing, the heart slowly closes. But with real effort, it can reopen. Emotional neglect may be silent, but healing begins with a single, intentional word. Reason 2: the hidden weight. In many homes, there's an unspoken truth: the woman carries more. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. She remembers the doctor appointments, plans the meals, keeps track of birthdays, cleans up messes, and fills in every gap that goes unnoticed. In the early years, she may do it all without complaint, believing it's her duty, or just hoping it will balance out over time. But as the years roll on and nothing changes, something inside her shifts. She no longer sees her husband as a teammate. She sees him as someone she must carry, and that weight grows heavier with age. This imbalance doesn't always come from a place of intentional neglect. Sometimes, husbands simply don't see what needs to be done. They assume things are being handled because they always have been. But the problem is, women have been trained to just do it, even when they're drowning. Over time, this leads to quiet resentment. Not because she hates her husband, but because she's exhausted from being everything to everyone, while he gets to relax, unwind, and call himself the provider. By the time she reaches her 50s or 60s, she looks back and sees a pattern: years of putting herself last. Years of unmet needs. And a partner who never truly asked, "How can I make your life easier?" That realization doesn't spark anger, it sparks detachment. Because when a woman feels like a solo act in a marriage that was meant to be a duet, love begins to fade. The solution? Step in. Share the load. Don't wait to be asked. Notice what she's been doing all these years and match her energy. A woman will fall back in love with the man who lifts burdens, not just with his hands, but with his heart. Because marriage is not about roles, it's about partnership. And the time to balance the scale is now. Reason 3, fading thanks. Every woman longs to feel seen, not just noticed for her presence, but valued for her efforts. In the early days of marriage, compliments are frequent, thank yous are warm, and admiration flows easily. But as years pass, the little things she does become routine, expected, invisible. The meals, the laundry, the emotional support, the way she holds the family together, all of it starts to feel like background noise. And when her partner stops appreciating these things, it begins to hurt in ways that are hard to explain. She's not looking for grand gestures or applause. She just wants to feel like her presence matters, not just to the house, but to his heart. The slow disappearance of appreciation is one of the most silent killers of emotional intimacy. A woman who once felt cherished begins to feel taken for granted. And when that happens over the course of years, decades even, it erodes the love that once came so naturally. She may still do the tasks, still show up, still serve, but she does it with a quiet ache in her soul. She wonders, would he even notice if I stopped? When the answer feels like probably not, her emotional walls begin to rise. Many husbands don't mean to be ungrateful. They just fall into comfort, assuming things are fine because nothing's being said. But silence is not peace, it's a cry for attention. Women don't need constant praise. But they do need to feel noticed. A sincere thank you, a warm compliment, a moment of gratitude can breathe life back into her spirit. Appreciation is not a luxury in marriage, it's a necessity. It's the fuel that keeps affection burning long after the honeymoon ends. And the good news is, it's never too late to start showing it again. A woman will soften to a man who says, I see you. I appreciate you. I don't take you for granted. Those words, spoken with truth, can mend even the most tired heart. Reason 4, stuck in time. Love, like life, is meant to evolve. In the beginning, marriage feels alive, full of energy, laughter, discovery, and dreams. But as the years pass, routines settle in. Work, bills, parenting, and daily obligations take over. If the couple doesn't grow together, learning, adapting, deepening their emotional bond, then the relationship begins to feel stuck. And when a woman feels that her marriage is no longer moving forward, something inside her starts to fade. Not because she wants excitement like in a movie, but because she wants connection, curiosity, and growth. She wants to feel like her marriage is still becoming something beautiful, not just surviving out of habit. Many men believe that once the vows are said and the home is built, the job is done. They stop dating their wives. They stop asking deep questions. They stop sharing hopes or showing affection just because. It's not always intentional, it's just what happens when comfort replaces curiosity. But comfort without connection turns into emotional distance. And for a woman, this feels like being emotionally abandoned while still physically present in the same home. Women thrive on emotional engagement. They want to grow through new conversations, shared experiences, and evolving intimacy. When that growth stops, they don't just feel bored, they feel alone. The man they married becomes someone they know well, but Northwest longer feel close to. And when she looks ahead and sees more of the same, more silence, more repetition, more disconnection, it creates a sadness that words can't always express. The answer isn't complicated. Growth doesn't mean grand gestures. It means choosing to keep knowing each other year after year. It means asking how she's changed, what she dreams about now, what scares her, what makes her proud. It means trying something new together, laughing again, being vulnerable again. When a husband chooses to grow with his wife, she feels alive in the relationship again. Because love that grows is love that lasts, and it's never too late to start again. Reason 5. Worn thin. With age comes wisdom, but also weariness, and for many women, that weariness is not just physical, it's emotional. After decades of juggling responsibilities, raising children, managing households, working jobs, caring for aging parents, many wives begin to feel completely depleted. And the truth is, if their husbands haven't stepped up along the way to truly share the load, that exhaustion turns into something deeper, emotional burnout. It's not that she wants to be cold or distant. It's that she simply has nothing left to give. When a woman spends her life pouring into everyone around her with little in return, even love begins to feel like another chore on her list. What makes this worse is that many men don't notice this slow erosion of her spirit. They may think she's moody, or not like she used to be, without realizing that she's been carrying the emotional and physical burden of the family for years. Her body may be aching. Her mind is tired. Her heart worn thin from being constantly needed but rarely nurtured. And when her partner doesn't step in to offer help, support, or even simple kindness, resentment quietly settles in. She doesn't see him as a refuge anymore. He becomes just another source of pressure. This kind of exhaustion doesn't always show itself in dramatic ways. It often looks like silence, disinterest, irritability, or withdrawal. And if left unaddressed, it can turn a once loving marriage into a cold partnership of convenience. But here's the hope: even now, things can change. A husband who chooses to notice her, to step in without being asked, to lighten her load with love and empathy, can breathe life back into a woman who thought she was too tired to care. Support is not just about doing chores, it's about saying, "You're not alone." And that one act of love can begin to heal even the deepest exhaustion. Conclusion. As time passes, the dynamics of marriage can shift, and for many women, feelings of emotional neglect, unequal responsibilities, lack of appreciation, stagnant growth, and physical exhaustion can lead to emotional distance. These reasons are not about dramatic changes, but practical realities that accumulate over the years. Understanding these factors is crucial for any husband wanting to restore and strengthen his relationship. Marriage requires continuous effort, appreciation, and emotional engagement. It's never too late to make a change. By offering love, support, and attention, husbands can reignite the connection and restore the bond they once shared.